And welcome back to another edition of the Down and Back Cornhole Podcast. The new one because we do the Saturday night thing. Now we're going to be doing just an interview thing. As you can see, still got to remember how to do it the right way. We have here as of this recording here, don't get this too much, the number one player in Canada, Mrs. Valerie Mayo. Valerie, welcome to the show, number one player.
Thank you. It was a tough go on Saturday, but there were a lot of great matches played here on Saturday in our conference. I actually had to beat Holly. You've met Holly Snellgrove, who has an amazing shot. I had to beat her twice in the finals. So I did that and then played doubles and we got second, and played in the open singles and got third. So it was a good day. It was a long day, but a good day.
Yeah, because your doubles partner is a guy that he's an okay player. Because we don't want to get everything going to his head. You were partnered up with Derek Barrett on the for the doubles. Oh no,
I wasn't. No,
he told me you were. So okay, well that's even better.
No. Actually, Derek was partnered up with Mayo, my husband.
Okay.
My partner was Sean Sabian.
Then I'm surprised you're not laid up with him, carrying him for the whole time.
Yeah, so we did meet Derek and Dave Mayo in the round robin, and we met him. So yeah, it was good. Can't lose to the husband. I don't want to listen to that when I get home.
We'll get to Dave in a little bit, but
sure.
So we talked about what's happening this week, but let's kind of rewind back to how you started playing cornhole, because I know that Sean and Amber, I was talking with Sean and Amber before they set up Cornhole Newfoundland, but how did you find out about it?
So we started playing cornhole at our camper. We'd go up to our camper on the weekends. Of course, not the boards we play on now. Very basic boards, bags, but I'm sure there was beans in them. So, they would be bouncing everywhere. Sean and Amber actually came up and put their camper across the road from us. And so we all started playing together. And then I guess Sean and Amber decided they wanted to get more involved and get a league starting. And once they started up the league, myself and Dave joined, and a lot of other people, of course. So that's how I started playing, just at my camper.
So then you started playing before the actual league kind of happened, and then you're like, oh, a league, hey, I now have actually a place to play legitimately.
Absolutely. So like you said, I mean, the boards we played with were nothing compared to what we play with now, the professional boards. And we never even knew there were different types of bags, different speeds, anything like that. So when Sean and Amber first started up the league, they got in the octane bags for everybody to use during league play. So that's what we all started with, and just got used to throwing those bags, and then realizing there were different bags that you could get. People still use octane, and then people use other different bags as well. So it was definitely a learning experience starting in the league, but a very fun one. Everybody in our league is amazing, so it's great.
So you start the league, and then the spring of, I'm trying to remember now, 2022, I guess it was 2021 that.
21.
Certainly, but then coming to Niagara Falls, your first trip away, coming to Niagara Falls, we had Dion here and how wide-eyed he was, and kind of his reaction that we can't share online. But what was your reaction coming into Niagara, your first big event at the Open, that first one we had?
It was amazing. It was when we walked into that convention center, and I walked into where the facility was and all the boards set up. It just blew me away. I was like, wow, like this is real now. Like this is actual, going to be really great competition. Of course, everyone was nervous, didn't know what to expect, but everybody was welcoming. There wasn't as many Americans there that year as 2022 because of COVID, but the few Americans that were there, I was very green. I didn't know who everybody was. I knew names, but I didn't really know faces. So, like I said, it was amazing to see some of these players playing. It blew me away, and it made me want to be better. Like, for here in Newfoundland, we thought we were doing great. And to go up to the first one, it was like, we need to step up our game. So that's what it showed me. And, like I said, I was very green playing in the women's singles, get a text and I'm playing Samantha Finley. Didn't even know who she was. So I go up and, being me, try to be very nice and, hey, where are you from and how you doing? And I ended up getting 4 points on her. It was 4-0. And I'm going, she must have been looking at me going, who is this girl? Does she not know who I am? So, of course, then she blew me away. But then after my game, I found out who she was. So, she was great to me. But it's funny because you don't know who you're going to go out and play against.
Mm.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure. Yeah.
And you guys, I think you guys really surprised a lot of people because you were, don't think you guys were still pretty skilled coming in because, you had played, but I think that was the thing that I think yourself and Dion and the other people that all came needed was just that little more exposure because let's face it, you guys were on an island on your own, right? So it's
absolutely.
And that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, for sure. And, here, the opportunity to, travel even within our province, there is no travel within our province. It's, one league, different nights, but it's still the one league, same people. So when you go to play a tournament, you're playing against the same people all the time. So you kind of know who's top, who's middle, who's bottom. But it really steps up your game when you go to somewhere like Niagara and see the competition that's there.
Yeah. So then you guys take that experience and then back to Newfoundland. And then what were kind of some of the things that people were kind of asking you as after you came back from that experience?
Just exactly what I said. Like, were certain people there? Like, did you see Samantha Finley? Did you see whoever? And just asking, like, what were they like? Like, how what's the competition like? And what bags did they use? And like different things like that, because that's when after a year playing, you're like, there's different bags. Never knew, right? Just being naive coming into it, I guess. And then coming back, even up there when it was all over, we were all saying, okay, we're definitely coming back again next year. We got to practice more. We got to do this. We should try this, do sit and goes, do whatever. So, taking what you learn up there and bringing it back to, help everybody get better, because even in league, we all want to win, but there's no animosity there. Like, you win, you beat someone, you're like, I lost, or, I won, but 5 minutes later, everyone's having a beer together. So, it's a great league here, and it's a great organization that Sean and Emma got started.
Exactly. So we take that Niagara tournament back in, I think I was going to say 2022 was our first one there. Then we go, then fast forward then to 2023. We don't have as big contingent come up from Newfoundland for the next Niagara Open, but then everything changed. It wasn't that nice, friendly, come from away feeling when we get to Newfoundland in June of 2023, because you guys kind of showed what you really were made of when hosting everyone in that second Open.
Yes, absolutely. And I think having it here, having every skill level that we have here in Newfoundland playing, and feeling a part of that national event, like, they've really enjoyed it. And they enjoyed it so much that we have about, I think right now we're up to 32 people going to Niagara in January from Newfoundland. So, people enjoy it. People want to get better. People want to compete against the best. I know a couple of people wanted to sign up for the open division, but I don't think there's only so many certain people that can. But they want to play the best. They want to see where they stack up. So, everyone loved it. They really brought their A game, I think.
Well, exactly, because if you look at the singles, you placed pretty high in the St. John's tournament there, but you got Amanda Oakley winning the women's singles. Then for the other singles, we had Dion taking the open singles. I know Curtis Walsh won one of them, and I
Cody
could
Kinney.
pick them.
Cody Kinney.
Yeah, winning the next one.
Yeah,
So it's Newfoundland kind of swept all of it there. So it's
exactly.
that
Yeah.
was and that's one of the best things about it.
Oh, absolutely. And even in the open doubles, my partner who I had, um, he doesn't even play cornhole on a regular basis. So when we started playing, to me, he was the Dion. Now, of
Yeah,
course, Dion's after surpassing everybody, and people are after surpassing him. Um, but even in doubles, we had to play Jamie and Chris Tremblay. And we only lost by 1 point. If we had to win that point, we would have went on to like the top four. So in every division, everybody did great. Singles, I mean, Newfoundlander just walked away with it, which was
yeah.
great. But even in doubles and swap and everything, so they really enjoyed it.
And I think for that aspect of just everyone else enjoying it coming down, I
Yeah,
think I think our Ontario contingent, or even some of the other pros now that have heard that if we do happen to have another one, we don't, as of this record, we know when two
right,
opens are in Canada. We don't know anything
yeah,
else. But
right.
if we do happen to have one in St. John's again, I think the turnout will be a little more, because after hearing all the because when you go to an open in St. John's, cornhole is almost secondary to the night on that small little street with those whole bunch of bars that you have there.
Yes, absolutely. And knowing people coming from away, as soon as we knew it was in Newfoundland, of course, everybody reached out to people in Ontario. I reached out to Bobby Sperry when I knew he was coming and said, "You need a ride from the airport, let me know." And I was actually playing ladies singles, so I sent Dave, my husband, to get him. And he was really, really thankful for that. And that doesn't happen all the time because most places you just get a taxi or whatever.
Yeah,
But we never let people get taxis here.
exactly.
So yeah, we definitely make people feel welcome.
Yeah. So then after that, your performance there, and then your performance and the rest of the season, you get the call, you get the email, the offer to be part of the first crop of ACL Canada pros. And
Yes.
so how was that feeling?
It was I think for me, I was a bit nervous, more than a bit probably, because I wanted it so badly. I felt like I put in the work. We all had to put in work every day, and still more I have to put in. But there was, I think, 15 people signed up. And people, any game can be good or bad. People can have an off game or a really, really good game. So I really just tried to stay focused. Um, you know, People thought when I won that there was a female winner and a male winner, and I said no.
Yeah,
I had to compete against the men, just like the men had to compete against the men. So,
yeah.
we had 5 women compete within those 15, 16 people, which was great. And it was a lot of hard competition. Like I played in one of the semifinal games, I had to play Daryl Parsons, and our game went on so long that Derek played 2.
Yep.
And we still weren't finished. So, like that was a really tough battle. And then I had to face Jeff to, actually win to become a pro. So, and I've played Jeff many times, and, he's beaten me a lot of times, and I've beaten him. So it could have went either way. And the way the game went, Jeff threw his bag. I had one left, and he started clapping, saying, "All you got to do is put it on the board." And everybody was cheering for me, saying, "You just got to put it on the board." And I was like, "Okay, give me a minute, because that's not as easy as you think it is right now." So when I did that, I was, I had to play Derek for the
Yeah.
ultimate winner, but I didn't even care at that point. I just knew I had made it. I was so excited to represent Newfoundland and, Canada. And I can't wait to get out and compete.
And that's it. I think that pro qualifier that you had there, I think a lot of people use that as almost their coming out party, because there's so many
Yes.
names now that I'm hearing from after that I'd seen there, like that I knew going in,
Mhm.
because Andrew Spencer,
Yes.
his game is improved. You've got Billy
He's
Norman, whose game's
amazing.
improved. You got the other Parsons, We don't have another
Yeah.
Kuza yet. We don't have another Kuza yet because that guy just isn't ready yet. He says he is, but that other Kuza isn't. But there's so many great
Yeah.
players there that, and that was my frustrating part when I was there, is that they're great players, but they, typical Newfoundland fashion, they don't think they're as good as everyone else. That there's
No, exactly.
there, and it's just, once they step up, I think they can do it.
Absolutely. And the thing here in Newfoundland is, we have tournaments, but we really don't have many single tournaments. It's usually swap or bring your own partner. And I think the advantage I had in the pro qualifier was going to Niagara twice and playing those single matches against, to higher ranked players, because, the game can turn around in one shot. Like, one person can get 4 on and one person can get 4 in, and that'll change the game totally. So you just got to make sure that your head is in the game and you don't give up. So, and that's what I did.
So then I have to ask, because I had seen it last time. I know that he's probably just standing just off to your side there. How many boxes of Kleenex did you go through, and will you have a Kleenex sponsor after becoming a pro?
Well, I'm hoping to get one just for him, not even me. But the funny thing is, Dave wasn't even there. He was moose hunting. So, because in Newfoundland, you get up, you go moose hunting 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So he was the first person I called, obviously, as soon as I won. There was no answer. So I texted him and said, just so you know, you're married to a pro now. And he called me 5 o'clock in the morning, pretty teared up and excited for me. So yeah, it was great. Yeah. And he is a great support for sure.
Exactly. So if anyone doesn't know, I did that live talk with Dion after Dion got his pro spot that first year, and Dave was just off to our right, just falling like crazy. I know I can say it now because I know he's far away from me, and he can't say anything to me. But
yeah, and even this year he's coming to Niagara, of course, but he's not signed up for any events. He's just coming up. It is my first pro one, so he's coming up to support me, and I'm sure he'll play some events. But I really would love him to be there.
Well, is he right there?
No, he's not. No, that's my dog.
I thought he might run there, but just because I want, I'll get him on when he gets on in January here. But
yeah,
watching him sit there and watch you play was fascinating to me, because he was running the whole, like, he was every shot. When I had you on doing the live feed in St. John's there, you could just see that, like, he was feeling everything, and just that support that you see with him, I think is what I think everyone needs out there. But even just the support everyone in Cornhole in Newfoundland was probably been my best crowd I've had for a live feed. But for him though, like, he was like, I could see him, and he kind of helped show with what shot to throw. Because the one time I still laugh is that he went to throw the airmail, and he was like, no. And you threw the airmail, you did like an airmail drag to win. And then his demeanor changed with that. But just
exactly
the gamut that he runs when he watches you play.
Yeah, he gets pretty hyped up for sure, and he tries not to get too excited so that I don't see him getting excited. But I know he's there with me every shot.
which I think is great. So I have to ask you then, to kind of we'll rewind a bit here again, but just what have you seen change in cornhole, especially in Newfoundland, since you first started to now?
Definitely the level of competition. If we look back to 2021 when we first went to Niagara, you'd go to cornhole and you'd play blind draw singles, and you knew if you were meeting Dion or Albert that was going to end your night. There was no beating Dion or Albert. But you look at people now who, I mean, I don't mean anybody can beat them. I mean, Dion is, I haven't beat him yet. But there's more competition. Like, people's PPR now compared to what it was back then. I mean, people are up in 7s and 8s, and I mean that you wouldn't see that last year or the year before. So people are just really, especially since the Open here, realizing what it's all about, what they need to do. The level of competition they're going to see when they go away. So that's the biggest thing I see, besides the growth, because it's after growing so much.
Yeah.
And that's of course thanks to Sean and Amber's hard work. But I've played sports my whole life. I've been playing softball since I've been 7, and I've never played a sport where it might be a weird old saying, but we are really like a family. If someone gets something really terrible happens to someone, they're all there to support you and bring you food, bring you money, like whatever they can do to help. So it really does feel like a family. Even though, like when I walk in there and I see Gwen or I see Holly or I see someone I know I'm going to have to compete against, I'm like, I really want to beat them, but it's not a vengeful or any kind of feeling. It's just I want to win.
Exactly, and the thing I see with your league nights is it's almost a grind like a regular tournament, because and that's where I talk with players who have sports backgrounds, who they kind of take that endurance or whatever from that there, because a tournament day can be a grind, and I think a lot of people found that out when we had the Open in St. John's, is that you're going from 8 a.m. till like 11 at night, right?
Yes.
And it's that big grind, and your league nights are like that, because you guys are starting at like 7 o'clock. You don't get out there till after midnight sometimes, and it's not because of slow play. It's because you guys are getting like 80 people out to a league night.
Absolutely, it's the volume of people. So, and there's all divisions there, and some people may have come to the beginning of the season, started out in C, and now they've moved up to B. Because whenever a new player comes, there's always someone there to help them, show them how to throw the bags, which side to use or whatever. So people are pretty helpful for anybody new that shows up.
Exactly. And I think, and the other thing I noticed with people from Newfoundland as well, is that when you first started playing, excuse me, it was just in the whole game. It was just, everything was just trying to get, it was just a sliding game. Now, after St. John's and watching some, and even some people making that change during that Open in St. John's, there's a little bit more of a dirty game now. That they're just people are starting to play the blocks a bit more, because before I think everyone was worried that we keep talking about that D word guy, but we just airmail something over top. But now it's and the other people are now taking that chance to do that as well. So that whole chess game, I think, has really evolved in play for people in Newfoundland.
They do, they do realize that they can't just, that's great to just go up and slide it in the hole all the time, but the person on the other side of you is just going to come up and do it as well. So if you can't get that in the hole every time, they're going to. So you need to, like I said, do the block and force them to shoot the airmail and hope they miss. But they definitely learn different tricks like that for sure.
Exactly, and it's I think the growth there is something that I've always followed you guys right from the start, and it's not just because my roots are there or whatever, but it's there, and I think you guys are going to surprise a lot more people again coming up here this year, because I think there's some people that still think that all of our top players are still based in Ontario here, but I think come Niagara, come other Opens coming up, I think you're going to start seeing a lot more, because you got guys like Derek who've only been to one. Most people have only been to the one Open in St. John's. They haven't traveled, and I think once they do get to travel, I think can show more people that I think they're really going to start to shine.
Oh my gracious, yes. I mean, Derek puts into work, a couple hours a day of just constant throwing, and he has just such a natural flow of a throw. There's no effort in it. So yeah, he's definitely someone to look out for.
Exactly. So if there's any companies out there who are wanting to sponsor Valerie here, just look her up on Facebook or whatever, and just try and get her, because I know she's looking for sponsorship. She's going to be one of the top female players I know that is going to be in. So we Val and I talked about this off air. We're going my first contest of the new season here. It'll be for a JC Cornhole hat, a new JC Cornhole hat here. All you have to do, send me a message in Messenger for the show here on Facebook. I got 3 letters on my shirt here: the G, the B, and the S. What does it mean? What does it stand for? Valerie can't say it, and she can't even say it on her league because she's void of the contest. But yeah, just send a message to the show. I'll pick a winner of the people who answered it correctly,
Mm-hmm.
If you name the tour of the tour that this is from, even more points for you. But for that there. And speaking of her needing sponsors, I've got the sponsors I need to talk about on the show here. They're going to be coming across on the bottom. jccornhole.com. Talk to Jamie with JC Cornhole. Sometimes he gives you a discount if you mention me. Sometimes he might charge you more. Depends on his mood if I've actually beat him for my quarterly time each year. Then, if you're in Edmonton, Alberta, Sherwood Park, another person from Newfoundland, talk to Darren Hiscock with Sierra Home Inspections. Great guy out there doing home inspections there, and a portion of your what you pay does go to a children's cancer hospice in the Edmonton area. And then the other newest one, harrisbeachspirits.com there. If you're in Newfoundland or you're in Canada outside of that, outside of Ontario right now, you can only get it in Ontario. Talk to your liquor control board, whatever you want to get. Harris Beach Spirits, there, especially their Rye 51. I always have my bottle right here. It's always right here. And if you're from Newfoundland, there's a Newfoundland connection as well for that there as well. So thanks Valerie for coming on this first just only interview portion of the show, because we will be coming back. I think we'll be back. I'm going to put this out Friday, so I think we will be back tomorrow night, I believe. Both of us will be on location. I'll be at a hockey tournament. Donnie will be at the Northeast Conference in Utica, New York, I believe he will be. So we'll be talking some cornhole then. And till then, see you there. Valerie, I will see you in January.
Yes, you will.
The Open in Niagara, and then hopefully many more. But everyone else, keep having fun throwing bags, and just have fun with it. Just don't worry about the drama. Don't worry about anything else, because it's usually me in it.